What is up, RotoGrinders? Tuesday, Television Tuesday. Weird start time. 5:30 on the East Coast because this slate, we're concentrating, of course, on the main slate, on DraftKings, on FanDuel. For tonight's 9-gamer, it starts at a funky time, 7:35 on the East Coast. There's a 4-game set previous to that. 4 games start around 6:40 or so. We're ignoring those. We have a 9-game slate starting with Seattle and Tampa. Of course, you still have the Giants in Coors Field. Some good pitchers, but no perfect spots. We'll talk about this with Chop. Chop, it's Television Tuesday. Happy to have you. How are things? Everything all good in your world?
Yeah, everything's flowing, Dean. Oh, I do have one gripe, Dean. I do have one gripe.
You want to air your grievances? Air your grievances.
Yeah, it's got to air the grievance, Dean.
It's like Festivus.
Did I tell you we were shopping for some new recliner? I didn't tell you that, right?
We talked about it. I told you to hit me up if you find a good deal because I'm kind of sort of somewhat at my eye as well.
So, we went back a second weekend and that was enough for me. I think I found what I needed, and I went into the store last Sunday and I was like, yeah, 1 week ago, not this past Sunday, but the one before. I pulled the trigger, said, "Give me 2 of these recliners. When can you deliver them?" Boom, yeah. We got you. September the 3rd, tomorrow. September the 3rd, we got your recliners coming for you, and
right before NFL season.
Yes, that was perfect. Everything was perfect, and I'm super excited about everything. I think we got the best ones. It was by far the best recliners that we've sat in, and we probably sat in 200 recliners over the course of 3 weeks altogether, And so Saturday comes around. This Saturday, boom, just a few days ago, Dean. When we're getting the new stuff on Wednesday, so I gotta find somebody to take this 6-piece sectional, which is leather and it's still in very good shape, Dean. It's still in very good condition. So I put it on Facebook Marketplace, and boom, wouldn't you know it? Of course, they want this sucker, man. Right away.
What's the going rate for a 6-piece sectional that's somewhat used?
We listed it at 500, and of course they want a bargain. So you make them feel good when they say, "Oh, will you take 450?" Yeah, fine, whatever. That's not gonna make or break me.
Get it out of here.
Yeah. Good for you. So it's a hectic Saturday. I go from trying to watch some college football, the first big slate of the year. Now I'm cleaning up this 6-piece sectional. I got to get it out of my living room. You got to go down a flight of stairs to get to the garage, which is where I'm going to put this sucker till they come get it later in the day, right? So I got to pull this, just me and my son. One of them, the other one's working already. He got him a little summertime job or part-time job. So it's just me and my one kid. We're getting this sucker, and I'm too old for this, Dean. My back is going out and everything. But I get this thing finally, all 6 pieces, into the garage, Dean. I'm sitting on this old piece of furniture that we had stored away that were just to kill the time until Wednesday, right? Till we get the new ones. And wouldn't you know, yesterday, Dean, I get a phone call from Ashley Furniture. Your order's been delayed till the 11th, Dean. That's a whole 8 days later. I ain't got nothing to sit on.
That's week 2 as well, right? Is that week 2? Is that encroaching on week 2?
My wife is sitting at the freaking kitchen table watching TV at night. It's terrible. It's awful. I'm like, come on, y'all got to do better. No, can't do better. That's all we got. Like, once they get you, man, once they get you, the hooks in you, that's it. They can't do nothing. Then they don't care about you no more. So now I don't know what I'm going to do here this weekend. This is going to be awful.
Did you sell the sofa, the 6-piece sectional?
Yeah, it's gone. It's gone. Okay. And they came and got it that day. So
if only they knew you had no interest in lugging that back up to the up the stairs. They could have priced you down like $300. Like, dude,
we literally would have gave it away for free. Yeah. I was not going back up the flight of stairs with that thing. No chance.
You lost all negotiating power.
Yeah, but that sucks, Dean. I hate it when that happens. But they got me. They caught me. But I'm gonna make the most of it. It'll be all right. We got a big fun weekend of football coming up. They ain't gonna spoil my parade, man.
You got to send me what you got. You got to send me because I'm kind of in the market as well, and I trust that if it's comfortable for Chop, it's comfortable for me. So send it my way. I'm seriously, I'm in the market as well, looking for a lazy boy or something of that sort. All right, 9-gamer. I went ahead and dropped the weather report in chat. Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth will be on later, of course, with Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood, as well as Chris Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, leader of the Juggalos, Juggalo Nation. Good news, at least good news for me. We have an upgrade, a little bit more of a positive report in Minnesota. I really like the Chicago-Minnesota game. Somebody's asking in chat who my single entry team would be. I mean, that's kind of where I want to go. Of course, San Fran's out there, and they're still kind of cheap. Locked in for 9 against Colorado. Their lineup just dropped. One of the key, Schmidt is not in there. We expected Schmidt to play, but he's not playing today. I can't remember. Is he the one that was hit by a pitch yesterday? Maybe that's the reason why. But he is not in the San Fran lineup today. But Chicago, Minnesota was orange throughout the day. I was concerned. I was wishy-washy. I wanted to see what Roth has to say. And, still something to monitor. And he'll give you an update when he comes on. But it's been upgraded just to straight yellow for the White Sox and the Twins. So that is of note. The rest of the report there is in your chat as well. That seems to be the diciest of the games. Yellow, green in Tampa typically is with the pop-up stuff there in St. Pete, Tampa. Green in Chicago with the wind blowing in. Yeah, Chop, I mentioned it. Oh, you know what? Let's drop that first clue. I kind of teased it as far as Television Tuesday. Let's give away a week free of RG Premium. The first clue, you know the deal. If you played yesterday, you know about Movie Monday. Today is Television Tuesday. Just tell me what TV show I'm talking about in the Discord channel. One guess per clue drop. And I'm dropping the first clue right now. It is Point. Point is the first clue. Let me know in the Discord channel. That's RotoGrinders.com/Discord. Live stream chat channel. Get yourself a week free of RG Premium. You get all the NFL stuff. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. I know that's a couple of those are out of season, but you know what I mean. The baseball stuff tonight and throughout the week, as well as PGA and MMA and everything else you can think of with the exception of NASCAR, which I think NASCAR is currently off right now, but don't hold me to it because that is not my lane. Chop, it is not the 70s show, though. That is not the 70s. Why? What's the deal with Point and 70s show? I watched that show a few times. I'm not that familiar with it. I know the characters, but it's like dancing. Is that what you're doing? I don't know. Like
Point Place or something like that from the 70s. Wasn't there a Point Place?
I don't know. Oh, it was Wisconsin? Was that the name of the city? That might have been the name of the city. I know it took place in Wisconsin, but it is not 70s show. All right, Chop, you tell me how we see in today's slate. We have a 9-gamer. We're going to rank some teams, throw in some tiers later on in the show. San Fran, pretty clearly, the biggest total on the board, 6 and change, locked in for 9 versus Kyle Freeland and his friends in the bullpen. Ramos, Devers, Adames, Chapman, Flores, Matos, Lee, Koss. Koss was the guy that snuck in. We did not anticipate him playing today. And then Patrick Bailey doing the catching. Otherwise, there's not a lot of teams that have a team total above 5. I don't know if there is one. Is Kansas City close? They're on the fringe, 4.99. If you want to get all technical, not a team total of 5, but essentially, they're right there. Chicago, the Cubs close to 5, despite not the best weather, according to Weather Edge. I want to give that a refresh. Maybe that's improved a little bit. But your overview, Chop, how are we seeing tonight's 9-gamer?
I mean, I feel like it's pretty straightforward, Dean, in that the pitching to me, they're all the pitching kind of seems very similar. I really can't. I mean, it's tough to make a case, man, for one guy being superior to the other guys. I could poke holes in the arguments for just about each and every one of these guys. So the pitching will be on the back burner for me when I build lineups. I'm for sure gonna jam in more San Francisco. Like that's just, I'll be over the field on the stacks in general. That's just the way I play stuff like this. And I can get a little bit different elsewhere. And, probably different at pitching. Might end up being that route just based on that. And then that after San Francisco, the hitting is pretty spread out. So I don't know. I could find one-offs from all over and just put them in. I just don't think that when you get a chalky stack like San Francisco, it really hurts the slate if you're playing a chalky pitcher, or if there's a definitive SP1 and that's the guy you really feel like you need to go with, or there's a definitive one-off from another team that you have to. And this is not the case tonight. So I think the stacks you can get different with all this other stuff going on. So I don't know. The overview for me: jam in San Francisco, and figure out the rest of it. And I don't think that's going to be overly chalky.
Is it one lineup tonight, or are we doing a bunch?
Now, Coors Field, I'm going to go ahead and do like 20 on each site because there's Coors Field. Like, I hate to just try to narrow myself down to one lineup when there's a pretty good hitting team, at least a pretty hot hitting team in Coors Field going against the bad part of their staff, which picks up starting tonight, and they did pretty good last night. And I think, wasn't it Dollander last night?
Yeah.
That's their best starter, right? And they still did pretty good. So now you start to get into the guys who really aren't good. So I don't want to limit myself to have to try to just force one lineup. So let's do 20 and let's spread out our San Francisco exposure. And that's what I like to do.
Yeah, some of the better pitchers. And by the way, as far as K stuff, like the biggest K rate on this slate amongst everybody throwing baseballs today is 26.1% for Logan Webb. And that's good. That's not elite. It's good. And he's also in Coors. He's actually currently projected to be the most popular pitcher on FanDuel right now. Just kind of looking at our ownership stuff, around 20%. I think I got to give it a refresh. Let me see. Maybe that might have changed. Speaking of changing, the weather in Chicago did change, and that somewhat matters because I was in on the pitching there, Chicago versus Atlanta. And I'm not saying I'm running away from it, but I was in on Shota Imanaga. Earlier today, Weather Edge was showing a pretty positive pitching environment. Now it's just like neutral. 218 games, monster sample, 72 to temp. Wind is blowing kind of a crosswind or, from right field to third base. So in from right field, 59 the due. And actually, we've seen a 2% bump in homers, a 2% decrease in runs. So essentially neutral. Earlier in the day, it looked like a little bit more positive for pitchers. And the issue with Imanaga is he's a fly ball guy. So I thought we had a perfect environment. If those fly balls can get punched down about 10 feet or so, instead of the ball creeping over the fence, dies in the warning track. It's a nice little setup. I still like him because you're getting a bit of a discount off of some of the bigger names that aren't as well positioned. Framber is taking on Max Fried, both really good pitchers, two of the best pitchers in the slate, but, tough matchups there. Especially for Framber against the Yankees. Oh, you must be pumped for this one, Chop. Are the Yankees still like a hated rival? Do you care about this one? There's 162 games. Are we up for this one a little bit more today?
Nah, not really.
You don't care.
I mean, seriously, just obviously don't like the Yankees. They're kind of just don't like them. But I don't know if you saw Aaron Boone last night at the North Carolina football game. No, you didn't see. Yeah, Aaron
I saw
Boone.
parts of the game. I did see parts of the game, but I did not see. Was he in the box with like Jordan? And
I don't know, but he was. I just saw a picture of him walking around on the field before the game. Like he's got his little hoodie tied to his waist. He's a hoodie tied to his waist. He doesn't wear it like a man. He ties it to his little.
How does a man wear a hoodie?
You put the sumbitch on, and you can even put the hoodie on if you want to. I don't care. I don't besmirch anybody that wants to wear it. But you don't tie your sweater to your waist. That's Aaron Boone for you, though. But no, I mean, I was probably a lot more pumped before I saw that they're resting Yordan Alvarez. So this must not mean that much to them.
Yeah.
If you're gonna sit Yordan, jeez, man. I just got back and he already had a day of rest a few days ago. I guess they really want to make sure he doesn't get any kind of, flare up on that hand or whatever. But yeah, if you're going to rest your best hitter, then it's going to dampen my excitement for the game anyway. So that's where
if you're going to rest him at some point, Fried's a good spot to rest him against. Like if you're going to make that argument, if he needs rest, tough lefties. But it's just I'm not going to be playing any Astros. I don't think. We'll see. Generally, I just don't pick on Max Fried because both these guys, two ground ball savants, probably not a bunch of homers. They can get bad, but we know how that goes. And yeah, as far as the K rate stuff, yeah, again, Logan had the biggest K rate on the slate. It's like 26.1%. Wu, last time out, I think it was last time out where he had his consecutive game streak snapped where he had 24, 25, 26, give or take, games in a row where he had 6 innings pitched or more. And I believe it was 5 2/3. Just he's just nails, right? Very rarely going to hurt you. I don't know if he puts up a score that's like Slate winning, but I think he should be fine. I'm okay with Woo. Probably the second best hitting environment in the slate behind Coors in Tampa. It's not as what do you got?
I will say this much about the hitting environment at Steinbrenner Field, the minor league ballpark.
You got data on it?
Yeah, this is as much of a. It's not neutral. It's a hitting environment, but it's as neutral as I've seen since we opened this ballpark.
Yeah.
So since we started playing, so it's not that bad tonight. So if you like the pitchers, and you would normally be driven off by the ballpark, it's not that bad tonight. So yeah, of course, there's going to be a bigger threat for a home run than just about anywhere, maybe outside of Coors. But as far as just run suppression in general now, it's not that bad tonight.
And that's also just the slate in general. It's in the 70s in Kansas City. It's in the 70s in Chicago, the 70s in Minnesota. It's barely 80 in St. Louis. Probably gets in the 70s as the game progresses. We're not looking at anything where it's just scorching and the ball is going to jump. I just think that's the slate on the whole, right? So even though it's not the best environment or as good as it typically is there, it's probably comparatively second best on the slate behind Coors, where we have a 10.5 total, 6.5 almost for San Fran. It's gonna be about 80 or so. So that's why we'll talk about it. We have Kurtz is back, and I put in the survey. I didn't know he was going to play, but then all of a sudden Kurtz is starting today. He must have saw that Miles Michaelis is pitching. It's like, oh, you know what? Starting to feel a little bit better. I was going to take a day, maybe 2 days to come back. This is the spot. If this was in Oakland, Sacramento, people will be losing their minds to get Kurtz in this lineup against Michaelis. Kurtz probably the best hitting hitter in baseball, top 2, top 3 against righties this season, according to the stats and stuff. I didn't see the leaders, but he's on the podium. I'm fairly certain he's at least third. The ballpark's not great. It's neutral at best for hitters, but Michaelis, not really going to miss bats, and that's kind of Kurtz's issue. When he doesn't miss it, he hits the ball pretty hard. So I think the Athletics do take a jump today as far as my interest. And I love the hitters in that Chicago-Minnesota game. We saw Simeon Woods Richardson come back from his illness, and he was a disaster. Davis Martin, not to be feared, and two of the worst bullpens, if not the 2 worst bullpens. Again, these 2 bullpens probably also on the podium. I don't know why you'd celebrate terrible podiums, terrible bullpens, and put them on podiums, but that's probably 2 of the 3 worst in baseball. All right. Anything else, Chop, before we kind of give an overview or anything else pitching wise? Let's just throw your names your way. If you're running out 20 pitchers, right, or 20 lineups, I'm curious, do you get any Framber? Do you get any Fried? Talented pitchers, just tough environments, tough opponents.
Are you asking me about pitchers?
Yeah. What did I catch you in the middle? Are you flustered over there? Are you all right?
I was trying to type out something in chat.
Oh, well, multitasking can be tricky sometimes.
Yeah. All right. So here's the thing. I need to know, Dean, we're at this weird start time. What time does crunch time come in?
Crunch time comes in at 6:40, give or take.
So we got another 50 minutes? God dang. That's a lot. I ain't gonna lie to you. But here we go.
Yeah, you got plans? You got things to do?
No.
You're not anticipating this?
Well, it sounds like you're trying to wrap up pitching already.
No. I realized that for a second, and then I kind of walked it back in my head. I'm rattled because I'm seeing TJ Moospanzada in the chat is saying that I made fun of Kurtz when asked about him when he was 2.6K, and I called him a loser bum. I was the one that was playing him at 2K and 2.5 and 3K, and just sitting there waiting for it to happen. So, I mean, look, I'm wrong about things for sure. Definitely, you can point to the scoreboard, but not on Kurtz.
You ain't
played
lying.
him a ton this year.
I was wrong about Justin Herbert coming out of college. I'm not gonna lie. I've always regretted that one. He's a good quarterback. I didn't expect nothing from him. But
yeah, I mean,
it happens. It happens, Dean.
Well, you get in front of a camera and you have a mic and you give takes. You're going to be wrong about plenty of things. That's just how that goes. We give dozens and dozens of takes every single day, but that's not an L for me. I played a lot of him, and I got a lot of zeros from him too. Yeah.
And
I
by the
don't know
way,
why.
Dean,
Yeah.
speaking of TJ Musmanzada,
Yes.
Chad Johnson and TJ Hushmanzada,
Uh-huh.
that was the original. That was the original Chase and Higgins. That was like they were ahead of their time. That was the best tandem. That was the best tandem
You're rounding up on Husmanzada. Husmanzada was not Higgins. Come on.
Oh, Hushmanzada
He was not that good.
He was. I think he was probably at this point he's probably better than Higgins.
Oh no.
When
I
they
don't
were
think
both when they
that's
were
correct.
both this many years into their careers. Oh yeah. I think you're disrespecting.
Also, Chad Johnson not as good as Jamar Chase. They're like the stunt doubles.
Chad Johnson was
Chad
really.
Johnson.
I think you're really dismissing how good that they were in a league that was not a pass happy league at the time. Remember, they were getting that run heavy BS back then, but now they were very good, Dean. I think you're disrespecting their prowess. Anyways,
Continue.
let's see. What we talk about Brian Wu. Again, the ballpark isn't as overwhelming tonight as it typically would be. And Wu's pretty much matchup proof anyway. He's pretty damn good, so you don't want to mess with that. Framber is who he is, Dean. Like, I don't think I'm going to play him that much because he's a head case and he could blow up, and that's what he does. But let's be perfectly honest. We could be sitting here looking at him 4 hours from now going, well, he just broke the slate. He was the guy. He can do that. That's just what he could go 9 like nothing, effortlessly, a 9-inning complete game. That's just who he is.
It happens.
So, with him, yeah, it's a constant with him. He can be really bad. He can be really good. But I'm with you. I don't like the matchup as much, but, he is who he is. Freed, I probably feared the matchup a little more before Jordan was sat today. Even if it's lefty on lefty, he's still their best hitter and might be one of their best even against lefties. And by the way, since he's come back, man, he's got like a 35% walk rate. So it kind of just not great for him, but fantasy wise, but it bolsters the rest of the guys in the lineup when you get, pitch counts get worked and people get on base for them. So that's good. But he's out, so you don't have to worry about that tonight. So who knows what you'll get out of them. Imanaga, we've talked about him on the show before, Dean. Like, you going to play him tonight? Sure, because it's Wrigley. It's a neutral environment, which means it probably favors pitchers more than hitters if it's neutral out there. But, man, his underlying numbers have always looked pretty rough. Like, how does he do this? But yet he goes out there and he keeps delivering, like, solid performances. So on a night like tonight where I don't like any of these other guys I've mentioned already or Logan Webb, which I'm going to mention next, like, sure, I think he's probably my favorite in that category because I don't like these other guys that much. I just poked holes in them, and Logan Webb's in Colorado. And he hasn't been, like, dominating Logan Webb lately like he was at the beginning of the year. So, like, those are the elite pitchers, or at least the high-priced pitchers, and I could poke holes in every one of them. So Imanaga kind of stands out as the guy I could poke the least amount of holes in. So, I think in that category, he's my favorite too. But the other ones could certainly win you a GPP. That's just the way they are.
The biggest fly ball on the slate for Imanaga, like you mentioned him being lucky, his BABIP is 210. So, and in part, he's getting a bunch of fly balls, and if they're not going over the fence, they typically more likely to get caught. The ERA is 3.08, but the Sierra is 4.37. But I kind of like the wind blowing in. I'm still going to play some. I'm still interested. The one that I think we should talk about, and at least earlier, I want to see if lineups are still shuffling his way, is Yu Darvish against Baltimore. And that's one of my things about being different tonight. I don't want to play Darvish, and I have a pivot instead. Darvish has given up a lot of homers since coming back. I know he had those 3 games where he's clean as far as giving up homers, but I believe he has the biggest ERA on the slate. Let me go ahead and pull up my anti-Darvish propaganda that I wrote today in the survey. Yeah, highest ERA in the slates. Lately, his last 7 starts, over 2 homers per 9. I think every single start but 1, he's given up at least 1 homer. Baltimore is not great. They're better against righties. They have some power. Some of these guys are cheap as well. You don't necessarily have to play Baltimore. I was talking about possibly playing Baltimore, for large field stuff. But I prefer – well, I'm curious to get your Darvish take. Are you in on him being a chalky Yu Darvish, 39, 40-year-old Yu Darvish. I can't get excited about it. And I have a pivot lined up for you, which I'll talk about in a second, but I want your Darvish take first.
Okay. Here's my Darvish take, and then you give your pivot. I'll give my pivot to Darvish too. But chalky, no. I don't like a chalky Yu Darvish at this stage of his career. But also, if you are playing that one lineup in single entry and smaller fields and you want to be very safe about it, he's probably kind of safe. And as far as this price range, I don't love it, but he is at home. He gets Baltimore. He gets to take them out of their hitter-friendly park and put them in this pitcher-friendly park, that kind of stuff. He's been inconsistent. Like, the guy could get blown up by St. Louis, then comes back and absolutely twirls a gem against the Mets, a very tough, like an incredibly tough offense. And by the way, the Mets are on fire right now. Twirls a gem there. Gets blown up by, can't get out of 4 innings against Arizona, but then comes back and shuts down San Francisco. Gets blown out by LA, then comes back the next start and shuts them down. Like, he's inconsistent, but that's who he is right now. He has that inning. I don't besmirch you in smaller fields. As far as chalky and large fields, I probably would rather pivot, and I think there's guys down here in the cheap range that we can go to.
Yeah, and the reason why is the price. Obviously, that's what's really putting people on Darvish, and the matchup is fine against Baltimore. I got to give a refresh. For some reason, my ownership stuff went away in lineup HQ. Hopefully, that gets fixed momentarily. But last I saw, he was one of the more popular pitchers in the slate, and similar price. The Angels. I want to pick on the Angels like the rest of the season. Basically, the absence of Ward makes that lineup even worse. I want to pull up the actual lineup today. I think it's around 26, 27, 28% striking out versus righties on the season. Let's get the exact number. Mitch Ferris taking the bump there for the Angels. Michael Lorenzen is my pivot tonight, Chop, which I don't know if I played him maybe once or twice all season, but if I did, it was for reasons not being that I love Michael Lorenzen per se. But yeah, 26.5% collectively as far as striking out for this Angels lineup. They're in the third toughest ballpark to homer. So yeah, there's some hitters in the green when it comes to ISO. Neto, Trout, Adele, Hoppy. There is some power on this side, but I just think that Lorenzen's going to get a boost as far as Ks, and his Ks aren't great, 20.5%, not great. But like I said before, nobody has great Ks tonight. 25, 26% is the highest number amongst everybody throwing baseballs. So, and like I think, he's a fly ball guy. He's much better at home, which makes sense because the ballpark suppresses homers. At home this season, it's I think about 1 homer per 9. I think it's 1.7 on the road, if I'm not mistaken. I was thinking through on that. So, if he's going to get a third of the ownership for Darvish, and especially like the single entry stuff that I kind of focus on, where chalk gets heightened, chalk rises. So if Darvish all of a sudden becomes like 40 or 50% rostered, I'm fine. I'm fine getting away from you, Darvish, and so be it. If he puts one of those Dodger performances up there, whatever. I just think Lorenzen is well positioned for a win. The Angels, especially without Ward now, the back of that lineup is really, really rough. And even if he gives up a homer or two, which I don't think he will, maybe one, I think he should rack up enough Ks to put up at least a respectable number. So that's my pivot, and they're essentially the same price, very similar. Do you have issues or thoughts? Are you on board with Lorenzen?
Yeah, he's a fine pivot. I mean, I'm definitely always look at the LA Angels lineup and all those strikeouts they have every time they face off against a right-hander. Like I'm looking at their lineup. They always got big strikeout numbers, but they also have some power in there too. But yeah, I can get behind that, Dean. The guy I was going to mention, because you mentioned that you said it that multiple times. There's not a lot of huge strikeout guys on this slate, so I don't know that we miss too much if we don't have a big time strikeout guy. My pivot was Luis Severino.
Oh,
yeah, I know it's a weird one, Dean, but first of all, I think there's a tale of 2 Severinos this year. There's one at home where he openly does not like to play his game. He does not like to pitch in his home ballpark, and he said as much, and the numbers back it up. And then there's Severino on the road, who's been a very adequate pitcher this year. He's super cheap tonight. He's had like 5 straight starts where I could look at his DK total and say, okay, I can live with that total tonight for this salary. So he's pretty good form right now. Don't believe in the Cardinals at all. I think the Cardinals kind of stink. So yeah, I can't even look at his like XFIP and all that other stuff because unless I'm splitting it up between home road splits. Otherwise, it doesn't matter to me because I think there's 2 distinctly different pitchers. And on the road, I could play him on the road. And let me see, the weather tonight.
Do you have a pitch count concerns? He hasn't pitched for a month. That's sort of my issue. One of my issues there.
Yeah, he's a veteran. I think he's all right. Like, there's a couple guys coming back from injury tonight. I don't think so. I think that I mean, what does he pitch? Yeah, about 27, 28 days. I think he'll be fine. I'm all right with it. I mean, we're getting a good discount on him. So I'm all right with just as a pivot to you, Darvish chalk, give it a shot because Lorenzen's all right, but Lorenzen's also 1,300 more. So if you can't afford that and you really are looking for a true comp in price range to Darvish, these other guys are a little rough. Maybe Joey Wentz down there. He has arm talent. Of course, I hate to pick on the Cubs, though. But, yeah, I don't know.
So ownership for DK, we have Webb at 38%, Darvish at 38%. Wu at 26, Imanaga 20, Framber at 15, Lorenzen. I feel like Lorenzen's kind of crept up throughout the day. He's at 14, Severino at 10, Fried at 10, Rasmussen at 7. That is our current ownership right now. I'm going to go ahead and drop clue number 2 in just a second for Television Tuesday.
Please do.
I don't know which one Steve picked is what I want to make sure. I don't want to say the wrong one. So that's why I'm waiting for him to drop it, but he'll be dropping it momentarily. And it'll be because I gave him 2 choices. So it'll be a surprise to me, much like it is to you guys. But clue number 1 did not get anybody home. It's not Nip Tuck or Growing Pains or that 70 show or Breaking Bad or The Outer Limits or Twin Peaks or The Office. A lot of guesses going in the Discord. The second clue is actually clue. Point and clue. That is the first 2 clues for today's Television Tuesday. Let's see. FanDuel. I wanted to see if we get our ownerships up for FanDuel because somebody was saying in chat that Lorenzen's chalky on FanDuel. I don't think that's the case. Unless I missed something.
Well, first of all, that's unreleased lo-fi music. Says, what about Lorenzen being chalk on FanDuel? I don't know that he's chalk, but here's what I would tell you about FanDuel though. Unreleased is I don't plan on playing like a Lorenzen or a Darvish or a Severino. Like FanDuel's not the place you need to play around with a starting pitcher too. Like you pick one guy over there, make it a good one. You know, like don't play around with those guys. You know, Wu, Valdez, Fried, Imanaga, Webb, borderline tonight in Coors. And then there's another guy we haven't talked about that's borderline ace, Dean. Borderline ace. Not
Who's
ace,
that?
but borderline on this slate being in that tier. That's Drew Rasmussen. So on FanDuel, I'm taking one of those guys. I'm not even playing around with those other guys over there. So somebody asked me who my number 1 pitcher is. I don't really have one. Like all those guys I just mentioned, I think are good. I don't think anybody just stands out tonight. I poke holes, but we didn't talk about Drew Rasmussen. What does he have going for him? Number 1, not a terrible ballpark tonight. It's usually really bad for home runs and runs and things like that. Tonight is not terrible. He's pitched great lately. The bad part about him, Dean, when you split up Seattle, their home numbers make them look like one of the worst offenses in baseball. Their road numbers make them look like one of the best offenses in baseball. They're that much better on the road. So that scares me for him. But, man, this guy has strung together a nice streak of about almost 2 months of, like, really solid pitching the baseball. So he's up there. He's in that category, and he's significantly cheaper than those other guys we've mentioned as being studs.
He's not going to give you more than 6 innings, but he'll give you 6 innings. He's given you 6 innings 4 times in a row. I don't think he's gone beyond 6 the entire season. They kind of baby him a little bit as far as his pitch count, assuming he's pretty efficient. 85 pitches, 91, 76, 79 the last 4 times out, and all those are 6 innings. I think he's in the mix. He's not my favorite, but like sure, he's fine. If I was running 150, he's in the pool for me. Anybody else we should not? By the way, for FanDuel, I did talk about the ownership stuff on DK. Might as well shout out FanDuel. We currently have 20% for Webb, 14 Wu, 14 Valdez, 13 Imanaga, Freed 11, Darvish 10. So Darvish is more of a DK thing. Got a roster 2, looking to save salaries on SB2, and the price a little bit different. So, yeah, and also Lorenzen is around 5%. It is not True Detective, Chop. None of the seasons are True Detective. It's not True Detective.
There's a new one coming, Dean.
Who's in it? Who's starring in it?
I forgot.
You know?
I don't know. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
The last one was Jodie Foster. And they were in Alaska.
No, was that it? Great. Was that a True Detective? No, that wasn't.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
That was pretty. I watched them all. I thought it was pretty good.
It was fine, but
Here's the. No, maybe it's not a True Detective I'm thinking of, but McConaughey is getting together with another really good actor to do a similar type of show.
Okay.
I forget who the other, but he's in attention. He's a headline grabber, so yeah, that should be interesting.
Is it Woody? Are they reuniting?
No, that'd be good, but
yeah. We got anything else as far as pitchers, or shall we talk about some stacks?
That's it. Oh no, yeah, there's nobody else I would even entertain playing. We kind of hit on Joey Wentz. That's enough. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, Tyler Wells is throwing baseballs today for the first time this year. People are not aware. You're talking about players that are new. Ferris is new as well. But he's cheap enough where I guess you can do it, on DK. You're not really sure what you're going to get there, but, lower your expectations. But in theory, he's fully stretched out and he's super, super cheap. And, good ballpark. Casey does have some good pieces up top, but the backloading Royals are not especially imposing. Okay, let's go to today's stacks. Chop, that was you. You set up today's tier category. What was today's category?
All right, Dean. So let me ask you and the chat for anybody who wants to, get involved here. I think this is a very subjective board. All right, but what in your lifetime? Yeah, but this is really is a personalized board.
Okay.
What are in honor of Labor Day? In honor of Labor Day yesterday, I missed because the weird slate and all. What are some of the best and worst jobs you had in your lifetime, Dean? Like, list some of them for me.
Well, Costco. I don't want to talk about what happened at Costco.
Oh,
that's the down low. It officially wasn't with Costco, to be clear.
You were contracted labor.
Well, the funny thing is, I actually did work inside of Costco, selling phones for about 2 weeks. A buddy of mine was like one of the regional people, and I don't think I sold one phone. I couldn't quite figure out how to sign people up, so I intentionally did not sell a phone because I didn't know how to do the next step. And then eventually we parted ways. It didn't work out for me.
You were one of those people. Every time I go to Costco, you were one of those people.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I was one of those guys.
Who's your phone service with, sir?
Oh, I could. How much? Oh, I could step right in the office. I can do better. Man, so I used to deliver flyers when I was like 13 or 14 years old in the sweltering humidity of South Florida, door-to-door flyers. That was probably the worst job I ever had. Like, I didn't do that often, but I did that. That was something I've done. Waiting tables. I kind of liked waiting tables mostly, but, there's obviously some nonsense that comes with that. I was a teacher, of course. I didn't like the hours. The hours more than anything. Man, I don't know how I woke up so early. I'm just a night person. I may or may not have fell asleep once or twice in class. That may have happened. There may be video evidence of a student came in. It's like, oh wait, yeah, we got you on all right. No, that didn't happen. Well, no, look right here. I'm like, all right, you got me. Yeah. So I'm trying to think what else would be on the list. I threw out a bunch. Oh, this of course is this will be in the one hole. This is the one hole Chop. I mean, come on, we got to suck up to anybody watching out there, and this is the best job in the world. We get to talk about sports all day and be wrong, and still we come back the next day somehow. Yeah. How about yourself, Chop? What do you got?
Well, let's bring up the big board. So I'm going to go as much as I wanted to put RG number one to suck up a little bit. I've got to go with the working on the shrimp boat. I mentioned it before. Like,
you love the shrimp boat.
I mean, the freedom out there, man. The freedom, you're on the water and, you really at that time, you don't have any bosses or anything. It was fun. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Can never go back to those days, but sometimes I wish I could. RG is obviously talking about fantasy sports and sports in general for a paycheck is pretty awesome. Now, where Shrimp Boat edges it out, Dean, is and on that boat, I don't really have any coworkers I have to worry about. I don't have, I don't have to worry about any of that. So RG, goes tier 2 because of that. This is a acronym for I worked for a couple of years, Dean, when I was a teenager, when I just first started driving a car. So 16, 17, 18, something like that. Galveston Island Outdoor Musicals. Now, Dean, I'm gonna put it in the third category because it could have gone either way. Like, it was a great gig. I'm a teenager. I don't even have to report out there till 4 p.m. because it's outdoor musicals. Everything's at night, and we don't, so you can sleep. You can do whatever you want during the summer and not have to go out there till 4 p.m. So it's great. I'm working with, like, it's this thing where all these actors and actresses are coming in from around the country to spend the summer out there, live out there, and do the musical, right? Like, whatever, they're cutting their teeth in the acting game. Musical game.
Yeah.
So I got all these nice looking girls out there. I'm a teenage boy, all that good stuff. The only thing that ruined it, had a boss. His name was Earl. And one day, I don't know, I guess because I was the hardest worker out there, Dean, that's just me. I've always been that guy. But he out of all the people, he hands me the plunger and says, somebody stuffed up the toilet and installed too. I know it was Earl. I know
it was Earl.
I know it was him. I know it was him. We all knew it was him, but I had the plunger. I had to do it.
Somebody.
So I'm bumping the outdoor musicals down a notch because of Earl and that disgusting thing I had to do right there. I've washed dishes, Dean, at a restaurant. That was a awful job. Don't want to do that. But the good thing and what puts it above line cook, which is dead last. At least dishwasher, I'm in my own world. Nobody's talking to me. I don't have to talk to nobody. I'm just running. It sucks doing all, but at least you're in your own world. Line cook, you actually have to deal with people, man. Everything, and you have to deal
with servers yelling at you. Oh my God, I goofed up on this.
You got to do. You better make sure your food's on point. People will complain, and you never want to have food. An honorary job, Dean, that it didn't even really count as a job. I didn't get a chance to put it on there, but. One day I tried to get a job, Dean, and I went on this thing and I got to the office and they said, okay, yeah, here we go. They got it. We got in a car ride and we drove like 25 minutes away to this neighborhood. I have no idea what I was getting into, Dean, by the way. I had no idea I just saw this ad in the paper, went out there. And these two guys, we start walking around this neighborhood, knocking on doors, and he's selling them. He's trying to pitch them. And I'm like, Am I doing door-to-door sales right here? This is awful. This is the worst. I'm so embarrassed. Like, I can't do this. This is not me. I'm not a door-to-door salesman. And after about 3 houses, I was like, listen, guys, I didn't know this was what we were doing. Please, can you take me back to my car? This is awful. And so they were like, and we had just drove 25 minutes out here, man. They're like, oh, well, come on, man. We got to do some more. We can't go back. I'm like, nah, man, I don't doing no more of this. This is garbage. Please take me back to my car. So they took me all the way back and dropped me off. Walked into the office, D. Because it was the secretary there was a really nice looking girl. And I had to try to get her number before I left, but I had them take me out. I had them take me all the way back to the car. It was an awful 1 day or half a day experience, but whatever. But this is my list, Dean. I'm sticking with it.
I thought the RA one would be used to work allegedly. I've heard the Gentleman's Club. Is that not something that happened? Is that didn't make the list?
Again, Dean, you have these things, and who am I going to bump out of there? Am I going to bump Shrimp Boat out? I can't do that because the boat was better. I can't bump RotoGrinder. I got to have RotoGrinders on the board.
Sure.
So, but yeah, that was definitely a unique experience, and I wouldn't trade that one for anything. And I had some good times over there.
I used to do sports cards shows. That was a fun one. That just kind of like popped up back in my head. That'd probably be I'm not in it right now. I know you're in it right now, but back in the day when I was really young, I would be the person setting it up in the morning, that kind of thing, with my own collection. And I don't like. Do you have I guess you're not there right now. You're not selling anything anyway, right? You just have your own personal collection.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not really trying to. I mean, I have stuff that's listed, but it's at a prices where if you want to buy it, good for you. It's not really sellable prices, but
yeah.
Yeah, it's for my own that particular industry comes and goes. When it gets hot, it gets on fire, and then when it dies down for a while, it dies down pretty hard.
Let's throw some teams in some tiers. Hit that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications, of course. You got that like button enough for Chopper to give the people the knockers, as well as the old BBP suggestion of the day. I will give you clue number 3, but we have a winner. We already have a winner in 2. We'll play it out. We'll play out the string here for Television Tuesday. Clue number 3 is gamble. Point, double, and gamble. First game, Mariners, Tampa. And again, if you're joining us late, you're not aware, 7:35 start. 7:35 start on the East Coast, so still an hour and 20 minutes till we get first pitch. Wu taking on Rasmussen, one of the better ballpark environments. Not the greatest it typically is, but by comparison, one of the better ballparks. However, 2 of the better pitchers, Wu and Rasmussen, so we have a 7.5 total. How do you feel about the Mariners and the Rays?
Even in this ballpark, I don't feel great about these stacks because I think we got 2 good pitchers here, 2 solid pitchers, Dean. So I'm putting Seattle in tier 4 because like if there is a team that could explode here, it is Seattle. But I don't typically want to pick on Rasmussen in this bullpen. Tampa Bay is going in tier 5 because Wu is really good. This bullpen is really good. I don't care about the environment. So I'm going tier 4, tier 5, but Dean, right off the bat, boom. Let's drop some music
blocker?
here. Just drop some chops knocker blocker for the day. Here we go. We got it in this game right here, right off the bat.
Do we have music?
Anytime we get that music queued up.
Is there a musical cue? You gotta let Steve know when the game is gonna have when the pitcher, just so he's on alert.
Steve might be in the bathroom. Who knows, man?
Well, let's imagine music's playing.
All right.
I thought we said that it was for the actual knockers.
Oh yeah, okay. You're right. Can't keep track of all these bits that we do. So all right.
I said they were bits. You always yell at me and say they're not
No,
bits.
no, you said they're gimmicks. These are definitely bits. They're not gimmicks.
You got your music.
That's a nice little flow right there. Nagar Block. Dean, I want to talk about Brian Baker for Tampa Bay. You know, I do because he's a 6'6" right-handed pitcher coming out of the bullpen. Surprisingly enough, when you look at his career, he's never had a really down year coming out of the bullpen. He's only pitched in the majors about 4 years. Never had a down year. This year, 2.73 xFIP, 32% K rate, good. We're going to talk about another guy later in this tier list about that he has a changeup, a really good changeup. But Brian Baker, that's his pitch, is a devastating changeup, and it's always crazy that I always find it interesting that a guy can just get by in the major leagues with like a changeup because you're throwing this pitch in the strike zone at like 85 miles an hour. It's got to be so scary. Major league hitters, you would think would thump that, but they hit a 171 weighted on base against his changeup this year. It's always been good. So Brian Baker, that knockout blocker tonight.
Are you getting flashbacks to the club with this music? Are you reminiscing in your
That's
head?
a little too slow. That's a little too slow for the club.
All right, game number 2, White Sox, Minnesota. Again, we got an upgrade. Just yellow now. It was orange earlier in the day. I'll go ahead and drop this in chat for the people from Cheap and Which is Kevin Roth. Will be on in about 25 minutes or so. At 9.5 total. Davis, Martin, Simeon, Woods, Richardson. Minnesota does have a team total of about 5. 2 of the worst bullpens in all of baseball. I personally love this game. I like both sides, but I'm even playing some White Sox. You tell me, though. This is your board. How you feeling about Minnesota and Chicago?
Minnesota and Chicago. Okay, you threw me off there, Dean, because that's not where the starting lineup page has these guys.
I scrolled down. I'm sorry, I skipped the game. We can jump back. I went down too far.
Let's go Minnesota, Chicago. Even though you threw me out of rhythm here.
That's
this is an offensive-minded game, in my opinion. I've got both of these teams, both of them, the White Sox and Minnesota, in tier 2. I'm not impressed with these pitchers so much. I don't like the White Sox. I wish they had their A1 lineup tonight. They don't. But again, since the break, they've been really good on offense. So I can definitely put them in tier 2. Minnesota struggles a little bit more, but they definitely have the pieces you can stack against Davis, Martin. So tier 2 for both of these teams.
All right, let's jump back where we should start. All right, I kind of missed a couple of games. Bad job scrolling by me. I assume you assume that the next game is either Atlanta, Chicago, or the Angels and the Royals. They both start at the same time. I will take Atlanta and the Cubbies, 8.5 total. Joey Wentz versus Shota Imanaga. Pretty neutral now as far as the weather. Looked a little bit better for pitching earlier in the day. Cubs almost a 5-team total against Wentz. Atlanta just under 4 against Imanaga and all his fly balls. How do you see the Braves and the Cubbies?
Atlanta, to me, I'm going tier 5. I'm going tier 5 for Atlanta. I know Imanaga has some things that I wish.
Sorry, that was my phone. You're good.
I thought somebody got shot. I thought Steve might have got shot in the background, man. Imanaga has some rough numbers on some things, but Atlanta's got a depleted lineup more or less. Tier 5. I don't want to mess with it. And by the way, the Cubs bullpen since the trade deadline, they rank number 1 in my rankings. Now it could be a lot of frivolous noise there, some of it, but they do have some arm talent out there. So not close game. I don't want to pick on this bullpen. Chicago, trying to find that offense they had earlier in the year. I'm putting them in tier 2 against Joey Wentz, who's okay. I don't hate him, but he walks a lot of guys. So Chicago in tier 2, that could get him in trouble tonight. Let's get some Cubs up there.
No PCA. He starts the game on the bench versus the lefty. So we probably get an appearance later on in the game at some point. Just wanted to throw that out there. Angels, Royals, Lorenzen versus Mitch Ferris. Talk about this Angels lineup. You know, there's some power up top, but the absence of Ward makes it a little bit cleaner as far as Lorenzen to get there. Mitch Ferris, not a mega prospect, taking on, one of the more popular teams, I think, on the slate, and Wits, Vinny P, the pass watch. I know it's left on left, but sure, he's rosterable as well. Sal Perez, one of my favorite catchers. Interesting to note, they did start Yaz. Yaz is starting, and Grichuk. Both are starting versus the lefty. I feel like they haven't done that with starting Yaz versus lefties, but good to see that. Well, if you're going to play Yaz, he should stick around this game, I presume. Royals, Angels, what do you got?
What do I got, Dean? I got the Angels against Lorenzen in tier 3. I know you kind of like him, and I kind of do too. But on the same hand, like there's some pop in that lineup, and you just never know. So I'm putting them in tier 3. Now for KC, putting them in tier 1, Dean. I'm putting them in tier 1. A lot, I get it. Mitch Ferris at a lower level, we're talking AA, has struck out a lot of guys, and he's done, but man, I'll tell you what, I don't know that he profiles to be a very good major league pitcher, at least not a starter. I say that because it's tough. And we just talked about changeups. He has an awesome changeup, but can it get by at the major league level when he's only throwing about 88 or 89 on his fastball? That's what he does. Like, he doesn't even top out at it, but like 91 at the max. So he's throwing high 80s with a fastball. In the major leagues, how effective can that be? How effective can that changeup be? Like, we're going to find out tonight. Is going to give one little small sample, one glimpse into what could possibly happen here. I think there's a chance KC could absolutely smash, because I just don't know that there's enough deception there to fool these guys, and major league hitters could tee off on that. And by the way, if we're looking for a guy who profiles well against a left-hander that throws a weak fastball and a really good changeup, it's Miguel Garcia. So I think I put him on survey today. I don't know.
Is that a knocker tease possibly?
I probably wouldn't mention him here if he was a knocker, but I do want to give him some love, because I did do the research, so I might as well get something out of it, right? But I just think he's going to have a hard time, man, at some point in the major league level. Maybe it starts tonight, maybe it doesn't, but he doesn't profile to be a particularly good starter at the major league level.
Also really wild. 55 walks in 116 innings in the minor leagues. And I'm on we don't talk about a whip, but I know a 1.47 whip is high. That's a high whip. A 1.47 seems very high in the minor leagues there. Even the majors, that's incredibly high. Okay. The Athletics are in St. Louis. Michaelis versus Luis Severino. We mentioned earlier in the show, Kurtz. Kurtz is back and leading off. This is just an incredible spot against Michaelis for him. Kurtz, Wilson, Rooker, Soderstrom, Langoliers. He's back as well. Butler, despite being righty, down in the 6-hole. Giloff, Lede, and Hernaiz. Coin toss, according to Vegas. Basically a slight lean for St. Louis, but essentially a 50-50 call as far as the winner here with St. Louis and the Athletics. How are you seeing these two offenses?
Yeah, I'm don't hate Severino tonight, and I actually don't hate the Oakland bullpen to help him out if it's a 3 or 4 run game. They've got some decent pieces in there. I'm going tier 4 for St. Louis, so that's just where I am. St. Louis just doesn't seem to ever get there for me anyway, so I don't think I can stack them. We don't have that much left in the season. I don't think I'll be stacking them very much. Oakland, on the other hand, I do kind of like. Mikolas does stink. This bullpen isn't as good as it was prior to the deadline. I'm putting Oakland in tier 2. I think there's a lot of good stuff pointing in the Oakland direction. They're warming up. Some of these bats are warming up, Dean, as we round into September. So, yeah, I'm putting them in tier 2.
All right, 4 games to go. Crunch time coming out in about 15 minutes or so. We have Kirkwood, Kirkdiese, Cheap Mineralogist Kevin Roth, Dave Potts. Cheeseisgood. Your Astros are taking on the Yankees. 8 total. 2 of the better pitchers in baseball. Framber Valdez and all his ground balls against Max Fried and all of his ground balls. You mentioned no Jordan for the Astros. It is 8 righties. There's 1 lefty. Cesar Salazar doing the catching. So we have the weaker catcher. Out. Yeah. Is Diaz hurt? Is he dealing with? I think he was dealing with something. Yeah, is he not? Wasn't he back though? Or is it gonna?
I mean,
it's a day-to-day thing.
You got to give them some rest. If they say their wrist hurts and you're a hitter, you kind of got to give them some spots off. I guess that's his. Yeah, Salazar's a good defensive catcher, but he doesn't look to be very much more than Martin Maldonado at the plate. We'll see. Watch him hit a home run tonight. Well, yeah. So
that's on left. No Rice for the Yankees as well.
And what's his name is hurt also. Caratini's got a concussion, so he's got to play. So he's really third string. But anyways, Aaron Judge. All rise for Aaron Judge. I'm putting the Yankees in tier 3. All rise for Kirkdiese, Juggalo Nation leader. He's in chat earlier, but Framber, man, you got to put Yankees in tier 3 against Framber. Framber could be very good, shut these guys down for 9 innings. Framber could be very wild and give up literally 4 or 5 runs in the first inning. We've seen him do that this year. We've seen him do that last month. So the Yankees could go either way. So they're a tier 3 for me. Houston, I don't like the little bit of depleted lineup. It's a pretty good pitcher on the other side. They're a tier 4 at best. That's being generous.
We do have an extreme hitters umpire in this game. The only extreme hitters umpire projected as of right now. Some extreme pitcher umpires of note. Extreme pitcher umpire in Colorado for Freeland, for Webb. Extreme pitcher umpire for Severino and Mikolas. And we have Bill Miller. Bill Miller in the which game is this for Bill Miller? Texas-Arizona game we've not yet talked about. He's an extreme pitcher umpire as well.
Interesting. I love it. Hey, listen, I like me some Bill Miller's barbecue. Don't let him fool you.
Is that a local joint in San Antonio?
It's in San Antonio. I don't know if it's just San Antonio, but I like me some Bill Miller's now.
I never heard of it. Is it? I'm assuming the umpire doesn't own it, but
I doubt it, but he's in Texas tonight. Maybe I wonder if he walks in and goes, "Hey, I'm Bill Miller, the umpire. Do I get some free stuff?" Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? But as far as this game is concerned, wait a minute. Are we on this? We're not on the Texas game.
No, we just talked. No, we'll get there in a second.
You don't rattle me, man, when you threw me off earlier.
You started talking about barbecue, and we got off the rails a little bit. Still 3 more games: Giants, Rockies. Webb versus Freeland. San Fran's got a team total above 6. They are going to be the chalk. They're not that expensive. Ramos is going to be really popular. Left on left, Everest might be a little bit lower owned as far as comparatively to the rest of the group. Chapman probably gets more ownership. Wilmer's in there, versatile as far as his position eligibility. Wilmer Flores, once upon a time, was allegedly a lefty manager. Not really anymore these days. Not really. Doesn't mean he can't do it tonight, but those days I think are kind of sort of somewhat long gone. And we both like Webb, so we're probably not going to be hyping up the Rockies much. Giants, Rockies, what do you got?
Yeah, Colorado's going in tier 4. It's Coors Field, and Webb hasn't been dominant, the last month or so. So yeah, maybe they have a slight chance, but they're a tier 4 team for me. San Fran, I'm not playing around with. I don't. They're a tier 1. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. They're an offense that has some hitters in that lineup that are getting hot. I mean, Devers was player of the week last week. Adames is on fire. And they're going into second game, but they're in Coors Field now. They're started to warm up. They're in Coors Field against a bad lefty. I'm not going to play around with it. They're a tier 1 team for me.
So Bill Miller's is a San Antonio-based chain. The restaurant started as a poultry and egg business in 1950 from a $500 loan. So look how far they've come. So I guess they're just around San Antonio, maybe the surrounding Texas area. I don't know, but I was not aware of Bill Miller. But I mean, you got to be good, right, to survive in Texas. As the competition is pretty tough, I imagine, for barbecue. So I'd imagine it's legit because
they got breakfast too. I just had some breakfast there about 2 weeks ago. Man, that's good, really good. The breakfast might be better than their barbecue. Had a big sausage and egg biscuit, homemade biscuit. It was really good, Dean. Really good.
There you go. We're going to be sponsored by them soon enough. Feel free to drop by.
The pancakes was very fluffy. I enjoyed their pancakes. Now I'm not going to throw my wife under the bus. She makes great pancakes, but I prefer the Bill Miller's pancake to my wife's pancake.
That's not an insult, though, is it? Bill Miller's, they've been doing it for 75 years.
They do it very well.
Yeah. All right. Baltimore, San Diego, Yu Darvish. We talked about him. He's going to get some ownership. He's going to be rostered a fair bit, more so on DK, not so much on FanDuel, but just, he kind of fits, make stuff work as an SB2 over there where he's pretty cheap. He's had a few good games. He's had some bad games too. No Baltimore lineup just yet. Tatis is in there. He was scratched yesterday. I think it was a back, right? Wasn't it a back? Some kind of spasms. Maybe it was yesterday, the day before. I know he scratched over the weekend for one of the games, but I assume he's fine. Just kind of monitor that just in case, but he is officially in the lineup. No Baltimore lineup just yet. Wells, he has not started a game this season. He was on the IL for a long time. He did have some rehab starts. I don't know what to expect out of Tyler Wells, but you tell me. Where we put the Padres and the O's?
Yeah, listen, Baltimore, having to go on the road to a big pitcher's park from what they're used to playing in is a downgrade for them big time. 3.5 is not typically something I want to stack. I don't want to, and I know Darvish kind of can have his bad moments, but Baltimore is a tier 4. That's a low team total, decent enough pitcher. By the way, Dean, even though they lost a very key member to that bullpen last night, probably out for the year with a torn quad muscle, still the best bullpen in baseball that you're trying to attack here on stacks.
San Diego.
Yeah, San Diego. I don't know if you saw that injury last night.
I did not. Who got hurt?
I think it was Adam Scott.
That's the actor from Severance. I think Adams is the guy's name, the last name, right?
Scott Adams.
Yeah, I think it's a guy
Jason
named Adam or Adams.
Jason Adams.
That's good.
Adams got hurt. But so Mason Miller probably steps up and they guys got to move up the rung, everybody. But they've got 4 dominators anyway, right? So
yeah,
they were able to go. They were able to go 6, 7, 8, 9 and shut you down with 4 straight guys. Now maybe they just have 3 straight guys because they still got Miller and Suarez and some of those other guys.
They're pretty tough, yeah.
Very good bullpen, but they're down a guy. But I don't want to pick on the bullpen and the starter combined. So they're a tier 4. San Diego, tier 2. Tyler Wells coming back to pitch for the first time in 2 years almost. It's been a while, Dean.
Yeah.
I don't think he pitched, not this year. I don't think he pitched last year at all. I'm not sure unless it was 1 or 2 starts. Don't quote me on that, but he's been out for a while. So if you're going to get him, this first game back might be the time you get to him.
He had I think it was an elbow, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Tommy John? He might have had Tommy John. He had a severe injury, obviously. He was out for a while. Fourth clue is scrolling. If you're still playing along, it's Buzz. So point, clue, gamble, Buzz. And the 5th clue for today's Television Tuesday is daily. So we already have a winner, Chop. I know you like to play along. You had a couple guesses, but
I think I would have got it about 3 clues ago, but I didn't want to mess around with it after somebody else got it.
I sent it to Steve. I'm like, I think I made it too easy today, and I guess I did make it too easy. Shout out to Alex in chat in the Discord channel. Alex the Don, if you want to get all technical, took it down today. We'll tell the
Alex,
people
the
right
what?
now. The Don, if I'm reading this
With
correctly.
a T?
Well, it's TH3 DON. I think the 3 is an E.
I thought you were adding a G onto it.
Oh no. No,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a home run hitter or not. I'm not sure. No, Don. I guess you know what that is. I think. I don't want to say anything. Okay. There is one more game. Let's knock that out. Let's tell the people. Sure, why not? Today's Television Tuesday Chop. I was trying to find some clues that weren't great, but point is as bad as I got. Point was just in reference to the exclamation point. There's an exclamation point in the title of the show. The second clue was double. Wait, was it double or was it something else? Because no, it was actually clue. It was originally double, and I swapped it out because that was too easy. And apparently, clue was too easy because on this show you get a lot of clues. You get a whole bunch, 5 for specific categories, and there's 5 or 6 specific categories twice. They do it 2 different times. They play this every single night. That's why it's daily, and of course there's daily doubles. And to answer these clues, actually you give the question, right? You have to buzz in. You buzz in, Chop, and every once in a while you get yourself a daily double, and then you gamble on how much money you want to wager. I think you know what show I'm talking about. It is Jeopardy. Today's Television Tuesday was Jeopardy. All right. And somebody in chat says, what is Jeopardy? You should have answered in the form of a question. All right. Last game. Again, crunch time coming in about 5 minutes or so with Kevin Roth, Dave Potts, as well as Kirkwood. We got the knockers on layaway, as well as the old BBP suggestion of the night. Okay. The last game on this slate. It is the Rangers, the D-backs. Nabil Crispat taking on Jacob Latz. Do we not have a Texas lineup just yet?
We do, Dean.
It must have just dropped.
Let me give you a heads up on the Texas lineup. I'm gonna put both of these teams in tier 3. The Texas lineup does not have Adolis Garcia and does not have Ezekiel Duran. And so you might look at that and go, oh, well, that's not that big of a deal. They kind of, but the alternative is Cody Freeman and Michael Hellman, whose great-great-great-grandfather invented the mayonnaise.
No, that's not. I don't believe that's true.
That's
no.
true.
No, I'm pretty sure it was some dude named Duke, if I'm not mistaken.
So anyway, you add those guys being out to Corey Seager having his emergency appendectomy the other day, and this lineup is kind of weak. I might even I can't bump them down though because of the competition. So it's a bad bullpen for Arizona. It's not a great starter. I'm still going to put them in tier 3, and Arizona's in tier 3 too. I don't. These either one of these could go either way. So I'm not really loving either one of these teams. Not hating them either. So it is what it is.
Four lefties in that bullpen. Just to me, Peterson and Tellez. They got Peterson and Tellez hitting back to back. They're just asking for it, right? They're asking for you to bring in a lefty with Josh Smith hitting the 1-hole too. They typically split those guys off. They don't go left. I'm not saying they're going to pinch hit for those guys, but it certainly seems like a situation where they might pinch hit for those guys. With again 4 lefties in their bullpen. Bullpens are bigger these days, right? With the turn of the month, we have 2 more players on 2 more roster players. I think most teams probably add at least 1 bullpen arm, that kind of thing. So I feel like we're probably going to see a little bit less of the down by 20. Let's throw the catcher, on the bump and see what he can do and throw 30 miles per hour and have some fun. But situational baseball stuff, we might see some lefties come in. Let's see. A couple of them worked hard. A lot of them played yesterday, but I think they're going to be all essentially available, looks like. But pretty good chance that a lefty is going to be coming in at some point. Chop, I'm going to you put the teams in the tiers, right? Arizona is in the middle. You have Texas in the middle. You did build symmetry. That just happened to work out. You don't force that. Just happened to work out by coincidence?
Of course not. Don't force it.
No, you respect the game too much to force the pictures. Let me go ahead and recap the board. If you guys are joining us late, Choppa, he power ranked his jobs, his favorite jobs over the years. Okay, so tier 1, Shrimp Boat, Kansas City and San Fran. Tier 2, RotoGrinders. That's the White Sox, the Twins, the Cubs, the A's, San Diego. Tier 3. What was this an acronym for again?
Galveston Island Outdoor Musicals.
Was that something you would do like regularly, or is it like during the summertime?
It was just the sun. They were just open during the summertime, Dean. I would the main gig was an usher. People would come and give you the ticket, and I point them, go, you're up there or you're down there. When it was intermission, I'd have the thing. I'd hold the drinks and the popcorn, go down and sell it for. I hated that part of it. It was a pretty good gig.
What is the best way for me to upgrade my seats when I don't actually have the best? How do I like, and you always get that one usher that takes his job way too seriously. It's like, dude, it's okay. Like there's some empty, it's all right. Let it go. You know what I'm talking about, right? Is there a certain move? Do I befriend the usher? Do I befriend you? Do I buy you a drink?
I was 17. Yeah, I couldn't have done nothing for you. I didn't have any clue. I was just floating through that job. I didn't.
Well, you saw people moving up, and did you care or did you not care?
I care less, man. Do what you want to do.
All right. Tier 3, Angels, Yankees, Texas, Arizona. Tier 4, Dishwasher, that's Seattle, St. Louis, Houston, the Rockies, and Baltimore. And the bottom tier, Line Cook, that's the Braves and the Rays. Chop, the people have been clamoring. They've been smashing that like button. They, they've been subscribing. They've been turning on notifications, doing all the things. So you give us the best of the knockers. Here it is.
Here we go. Now we're cooking. BBP suggestion of the day, Dean. It was rough. This is a borderline guy. This is a borderline, but I'm gonna put him in there. But it's Giancarlo Stanton against Framber Valdez. Story checks out. He likes lefties anyway. Framber likes to keep it away from people. He likes to get his arms extended. You never know, he can get into it. So BBP suggestion of the day. Now for the knockers, Dean. That's what the people are here for, the knockers. And hey man, different knockers for different folks. Some people like, you mentioned Rowdy Tellez earlier, a few minutes ago. Some people like the plump knockers, like Rowdy Tellez. Some people are more Christian Yelich type, flat, skinny, like pancake, like almost like a pancake. I mentioned pancakes earlier, like a pancake knocker. Yeah, pancake knocker. Some people like that. Get off. And some people like athletic knockers, Dean. See what I'm doing there? They like the athletic knockers. They're warming up. Jacob Wilson is regaining some form. I'm going Jacob Wilson and Lawrence Butler. 2-6 in the order. The athletic knockers tonight.
Stanton is lifetime 6 hits and 15 at-bats versus Framber Valdez. 4 singles, a double, a homer, 2 walks, only 3 strikeouts. It seems kind of low, for Stanton. Just 1 homer. And, those Crawford boxes, he doesn't need to get all of it to get it over down the left field line. Okay, let's do it. Let's seamlessly segue. We have crunch time coming in right now. It's Kevin Roth. It's Dave Potts. It's Kirkdiese. Crunch time. Here we go. Did my mic just give out, boys? I'm sorry for that weird segue. You guys can hear me now? Yes?
Yeah, you're back.
Okay. Yeah, you're going through your iPods, I think, AirPods now or something. The mic is.
Oh, is that what's happening? It keeps on wanting to jump over to my phone, and my apologies. Roth, tell the people about Minnesota. It's like, make sure my mic is okay.
This is why, Dean, you just go old school, wired headphones. You don't need all that Bluetooth nonsense. You just get some old classic wired headphones. They'll never let you down. I'm not overly concerned with rain anywhere. I think you do whatever you were going to do on this slate, but there is a chance of a delay in Minnesota, more likely late than early if it were to happen.
Whatever you want.
You guys saw Chop power ranked his best and worst jobs. Does anybody want to volunteer their best, or if you want to mention RotoGrinders, by all means, but dealer's choice. Best and worst jobs. Kirkwood, you got something. Go ahead.
First thing before we get to that, I wanted to say the athletic knockers was brilliant. And I hope we'll get a bodybuilder knockers, because I'd like to see people's opinions on that. So, maybe like a Tyler O'Neill or something. But anyways, worst job, bar none, I ever had or ever did. I picked tobacco. On a farm.
That is horrible.
I lasted
that sounds
3 days. I lasted 3 days. My friend lasted 1 day. I stuck it out for 2 extra days, but it is the worst job. It was you're on your legs and you're just going like that. I was young. It was like the only
how much were you getting paid? You remember?
It was like good for what I thought it was, but I was just a young kid, and I don't remember. I do not remember, but whatever it was not worth it.
Can you top that, Ruff?
My worst job, I worked at a lot of cheesesteak places because I love cheesesteaks. So I work at these cheesesteak establishments so I can eat them for free. And I worked at a couple that were pretty low key. And then I went to the most popular one. Like I worked my way up to the big leagues of cheesesteaks. And this place was always slammed. And the first 2 days, in fact, they just had me cutting onions the entire time. It was just like 8 straight hours of just cutting onions and just your eyes are just burning. It was freaking horrible. And I made it maybe a week before I quit. I didn't even go get my paycheck. I was like, you know what?
It's still there.
I'm out. Yeah. I'm not cut out for this.
Do you wear glasses when you do that? Or they give you glasses for that?
So I think they do. I think you've got to earn them. I think they bring the new employee in. Yeah. The new guy, they force him to do it without the glasses.
It's like initiation?
Yeah. Yeah. It was awful.
You know, you can just buy the cheesecakes. You don't have to actually work in the establishment. You can just buy a cheesecake.
Yeah, but you save yourself a lot of money just working and eating. It was a good gig until that one. That was the third cheesesteak place I worked at and the last.
Dave, you got anything?
I don't have any lower tier jobs.
How rich?
Yeah, my first job ever in high school was like sounds dull, but like the perks were ridiculous. So it was entering like real estate data into the computer before the internet. So we would get house listings and just basically data entry the house listings so they could print them out. But it was like me and my friend would do it Friday night and Saturday when everyone else was gone. So we would just do it real fast. Then we would sit there and play Tecmo Bowl all night on the clock. So I can't count that as a lower tier. And then I worked at the baseball card store and then traveling musician and RotoGrinders. So I don't really I have no tobacco picking experience or anything.
You've barely ever had a real job.
I have never had a real job. Why would,
That's amazing.
who would have a real job? What are you doing?
Yeah. Foolish.
I sold baseball cards just like Dean did. He was talking about it. I had a tax license. I had the cases, the big cases, and I would try to weigh some packs and get the good cards out and leave the other packs. And that's where I got my first bookie, believe it or not. Some scumbag saw a kid as a mark and was like into sports and everything and gave him a betting account, which was the worst thing, probably the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Dave,
that's like set the tone for your whole life.
Yeah, it's when here. It's why I love here. I do. Don't get me wrong.
It's your sliding doors moment. Dave, your Tecmo Bowl team. Would you play Bo Jackson and just like the cheat code, or did you have a team?
So it was Super Tecmo Bowl.
Okay.
Yeah. So that on that one you could play the Browns. Bernie Kosar was one of the guys who didn't have the license. It was QB Browns, but he did throw to Webster Slaughter, and some other exciting things happened.
Ernest Biner, was he in that? Was he in that team?
It was Kevin Mack. Biner was on the Redskins at that point, but Kevin Mack could run up the middle.
All right, the people want some baseball. You got 45 minutes. Yeah, Roth. I think it's 7:35. His first pitch, Roth. I'm sure you took a peek. You're wondering why you're on so late. That is the reason. Myself and Chop are going to step aside and get out of here. Do hit that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on notifications. Do not go anywhere because, again, you got 45 minutes of crunch time baseball right now. Roth, take it away.
It is indeed crunch time, and you know the drill. It's two of the sharpest minds in the industry hanging out with us, and Head Chopper hanging out for a bit as well. Just chilling. There he goes. All right. Dave Potts, Cheeseisgood in the house. Cheese, how are you?
I'm good, man. We are all so sorry we barely missed that glorious fish, but I'm glad it showed up anyway.
Can you believe that? I caught it as soon as the show ended. I caught that fish, and it was a good one.
We ended too
soon.
So
you were set up the entire show, so it could have happened anytime on the show, and
that was the point. I casted it out there during the show, and I was like ready to rock, and nothing, no bites, and then as soon as the show ended, I caught like a good sized redfish.
A total game changer for DFS shows in the industry.
Yeah, just want to say I'm breaking new boundaries. That's what I'm all about. I'm pushing the limits here. Kirkdiese in the house as well. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. Except kids in preschool for the first time. Started last week. Got the dreaded call at 1 o'clock that you're going to need to go and pick your kid up at school for explosive diarrhea. So that's what I had to.
Once they get into this daycare, it's like the first 6 to 9 months, they're just constant different kinds of sickness. So have fun with that.
But I'm good. I like the slate. I'm actually a lot chalkier than I thought I was going to be. It's like chalk just found its way to me. Became chalk as the days moved on. But I like the slate.
Yeah. Okay. I did have some people asking about whether there are two games where you have a chance of a delay. One is in Tampa. More likely it would be a late start, if anything. Even more likely than that is just nothing. It's just the game's just fine. So do whatever you were going to do there. And then there is the Minnesota game that I talked about. There's a line of storms. Most of the day, it looked like that was going to come through in game. And just over the last few hours, models are pushing that farther and farther back. So now maybe it arrives late game. Hopefully it arrives just after the game. Either way, whatever you were going to do should be fine, whether that's pitchers or bats. So I've got it as yellow, and I think you play it. Does that work for y'all?
It sure does.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's dive into the slate. Cheese, what are we doing with pitchers?
There's kind of a lot of pitchers. I'm very curious as to where the ownership actually lands. I'm not sure that I really believe Logan Webb is more popular than Imanaga. But either way, like, I don't think you're going to have any of the 60% owned pitcher, or out of the guys that I think are reasonable to play, I don't think you're going to have the 5% owned guy either. So I would say don't probably make your decisions at pitcher based on ownership. That's my lean. I just like Imanaga the best. He's my SP1 on both sites. Like Brian Wu, I would play ahead of him just slightly if they were the same salary, but it's like $1,000 gap on each site, and I can use the $1,000. So to me, it's Imanaga 1, Wu if I can afford him. Webb is next. More so on DraftKings. I did not end up playing Webb on FanDuel. I think he's quite interesting still, but to me, that's a DraftKings play. And then I don't have any Framber Valdez or Max Fried. I think they'll both go under the radar, but not unowned. Just 'cause they're always going to project okay because they're good pitchers. But I just don't have any. And then with the cheaper stuff, I don't know what I think ownership's going to do. We're showing a lot of Yu Darvish ownership on DraftKings, and I guess that's maybe he's the most popular pitcher or close to the high end guys, but I don't think he gets much more over that. And he's still who knows what's going on with him. Like, he doesn't have much realistic ceiling at all. Like, he's not going to get probably even 90 pitches. I think he's fine. He's worth $6,700, and even on FanDuel, I think he's worth $7,600. But I prefer him on DraftKings to FanDuel for sure. Earlier in the day, it looked like maybe Michael Lorenzen would be kind of popular, which I would not have had any interest at all if he was remotely popular. Honestly, I still don't. I've just ended up liking the Angels' bats against him more. But I do think he's viable now that he's kind of gotten pushed down in ownership. I think you could throw a dart at Mitch Ferris, the Angels rookie. It's very much a dart with downside, but 5,500 on DraftKings is fine. To me, that's all I'm doing. I don't have anything cheaper than that on FanDuel, that being Yu Darvish at 76. So basically, if I'm not playing Imanaga on FanDuel, I'm playing either Darvish or I would do Lorenzen. I say I would do because I didn't actually play him, but I think he's fine. Mm-hmm. And then the other guy on DraftKings is Drew Rasmussen. They've given him a little bit more leash, and with that, he's a 6-inning guy if he gets 85 pitches, and he's just playing good. So, I would play him ahead of Darvish if you have that salary.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Kirkwood, seems like we got a lot of choices, a lot of options. Where are you going?
Yeah, so basically, I've narrowed it down. I've cut the pitching slate in half. I really don't see a need for going lower than Yu Darvish today. Like Dave said, I did look at Mitch Ferris. It's just there's so many value bets that have high upside. I just didn't see myself playing him at all. So I basically start. So Webb is my favorite. Me personally. This Rockies team is just special bad. They are just horrendous. And, we get the extreme pitchers ump there. Webb's game, his repertoire kind of should play well. He's very command guy. He's paints corners. He has a lot of really solid pitches. So I think he's going to do well, and I'm going to play him at 9K because he's cheaper than Wu. He's cheaper than all the guys. I do like Imanaga as well, and I'm probably going to play them together. I was toying around with Darvish early in the day because I didn't think he was going to be massive chalk. I just was thinking that because of his pitch count and whatnot, he wouldn't be, but he's now showing as the highest owned, and that doesn't. He's complete wild card. It's like flip a coin. He's going to do well or bad. So as chalk, I think you got to go against him now. So, but totally fine play. I think he's finding his groove. He's flashing his upside. Baltimore is definitely a strikeout offense. They also have some pop too as well, but it's not a scary matchup. So I get the play completely. I'm out on Framber against the Yankees. I just don't see the need. Also, that's an extreme hitters ump, I believe, over there now that just came in. Not that I really put all that much into it, but it does matter a little bit. And then, so for me, I like Ryan Wu, but I'll play Imanaga. I like them the same. So if I have the money there, I have a lineup with Wu. I have a lineup with Imanaga. I think they're both up there, and I have them paired with Webb. If I wanted to go down lower, it's just really Drew Rasmussen is kind of my wild card because a lot of these guys have pitch count concerns here tonight in general, and he is a really solid pitcher for the time he's out there, and Seattle is certainly an offense that will strike out too. So he's kind of the lowest I'm going on because I've turned off my Yu Darvish from the beginning of the day because of ownership. But that's all I got.
I did get a question. 6K on DK. Nabil Antonio Crismat Abuchebe. I don't know. He's 6K and he's got a cool name. Any interest from either of you?
I've looked at him. He's 30-year-old. He's not some good prospect or anything. I just didn't see that much to like about him. He did have some decent stats again when he pitched against Cincinnati and Colorado, but I just don't see any of the need personally.
Cheese, you want any Nabil?
Now, if I had like 50 plus lineups, I'd have him. It's still not a great matchup. I mean, yeah, the Rangers lineup looks kind of wonky. It's still not really that bad of a lineup. And this is like, Chris Matt should be a really low strikeout guy. So viable, sure, but I don't have any.
Doesn't really have the upside. Is Imanaga solid on FanDuel? Jeez.
I mean, he's my SP1 there for sure. Yeah, any format. So more than viable.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the bats and the stacks. Kirkwood, you can lead us off in that department. Who are we stacking up, homie?
Well, it's the Giants. It's Coors Chalk. I've given in and been playing them. I played them yesterday, and I'm going to play them again today because I just constantly, this Rockies team is just so bad everywhere. I get it. They're going to be chalky, but I think Dave mentioned this in the article too, and I feel the exact same. You don't need to do a full stack with them. You can just kind of pick up your big homer bats in there and still kind of get crazy with the rest of your lineup. Just don't have to worry so much, but it's fully stackable as well too, but they're the obvious number one choice. I think from there, I like Twins and White Sox. I like both sides of that game. A nice little double dip, which always is nice on a end of summer night here. And then I like the Diamondbacks. You could sell me on some Royals in this spot. And then other than that, it's just kind of mini stacks.
Okay. I am going back. You mentioned that Coors game, adding in a low chance of a delay there. It's green-yellow. And I think, if anything, it'd probably be a late start, but just a few little showers around. I don't know. Nothing all that alarming, and the game is certainly fine. So for bats, it's not a concern at all. Cheese, your favorite stacks?
Yeah, I mean, very obviously the Giants. And I think if you're not playing the Giants, I don't think ownership is a thing at all. Everything else is very spread out. As far as full stacks, I like the Twins and the White Sox next. I have a lot more lineups that are not full stacks because there's a lot of individual bats and like 2 or 3 on a team that I really like, and there's a lot of ways to afford them. That would be like Angels, Royals, A's, Diamondbacks, Padres in particular. Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Let's go around the horn, position by position. Cheese, you can start us off with a little catcher talk.
So nobody is playing Cal Raleigh. It's really not a great slate for him. He is facing Drew Rasmussen, and he's 6,300. But there are a lot of, wow, nobody's playing that. Nobody's playing Cal Raleigh. Nobody's playing Aaron Judge. Nobody's playing a lot of people who are just good because of matchup and salary. But still, I don't have much. Shea Langoliers is 900 cheaper than Raleigh, and I do like him a good bit. Both of them are spend up to be a little different. I think Sal Perez and Kyle Teal probably get more of the ownership. Patrick Bailey is kind of left out because even in Giant Stack, you don't need that salary. And he's not the Giants bat I'm going after. I would rather play Gabriel Moreno or Logan O'Hoppe ahead of Bailey if I need to go cheap.
Yeah. Kirkwood, catcher.
There's only one guy for me. Once I saw the name, saw the price, had to put him in. That's Jimmy Crooks.
Oh.
2K.
Tell your heart.
Yeah, guy's a lady killer. 2K, batting 6th for St. Louis against Oakland. Severino, who's just coming back off the IL. And it's a 2K punt that enables me to do whatever the heck I want with my lineup. So he's in it there. Other than that, I also have Salvador Perez. I also have some Moreno, just batting cleanup for the Diamondbacks. And I do agree with for the upside, guys like Cal Raleigh could really pull away, or Langoliers.
Yeah. All right. First base.
All right. Well, we're just going to be like naming off Giants, but Devers, Wilmer Flores is also first and third eligible. Devers 5,600, lefty. I'd probably say maybe he's a little bit lower on because of lefty, but that's not going to be the case. Flores 4,100. Both of them have big upside. Cody Clemens to get over to the Minnesota game. These guys have good numbers against right-handed pitching, good power numbers. I'm talking about Clemens, Larnack, Wallner. So I like all those guys, but Clemens is the guy who's first eligible. Vinny Pasquantino. What is today? Tuesday?
Tortellini Tuesday.
Yeah, you're right. Tortellini Tuesday.
Yeah.
How did I miss?
Come on.
My head's not in it. So he's for sure in play for a home run upside. Tyler Soderstrom, I don't mind. Cheap guy would be Rowdy Tellez, 3,200. Another one for power upside you're looking for, and maybe just Nick Kurtz, 6,100. The guy's breaking like rookie records here, and Nicholas is pretty bad and gives up some power, a bunch of power. So this could be a big game if you spend for him. I don't think he'll get played that much tonight.
Okay. That's all you got? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You had a weird end to that sentence.
Yeah.
You ended it
when I stop, that means I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I understand that. That's typical talk.
So you've got to pick it right up and just go.
Yeah. Okay. You just ended it like you ended it as if you ended it as like this, and I'm interested in that.
That's it.
And it would imply that there was something coming.
Not at all, Roth. Come on, you got to be better.
We all know at least 3 people who end every sentence with the word "so," and then just stop talking.
So what? Geez. So second. So first. I don't know.
First. Yeah. There's like Kirk named a bunch of names, and like it's all kind of fine, but there's really nothing great, which is why I think Devers will get played even in the lefty because it's just not. I don't know. It's just not that exciting. I do like the A's guys. Kurtz and Soderstrom. Soderstrom is very cheap on FanDuel. A lot of people are cheap on FanDuel, but I like him there. I think Cody Clemens is my favorite salary saver. I'm playing a little bit of Lennon Sosa at first, even though he qualifies at second. That's just how kind of first base is if you're not stagging the Giants. I don't think I have any other names to add. That's really as deep as I'm going.
Okay, let's go to second.
I think Ketel Marte is an interesting spend up. He won't be quite as unowned as like Raleigh and Judge, but he'll be relatively low. And I actually think Brandon Lau is fine too for that same reason, because you do have salary in a lot of builds. Christian Koss is in for the Giants. That's fine. You can play him, but I'm not playing him outside of stacks. I far prefer Lennon Sosa. I would rather play like Zach Geloff, but mostly Sosa. Like that's kind of my go-to guy.
A few people asking about Sosa, and you mentioned him a couple times, so I assume you're totally fine with that. Kirkwood, what are you doing there in second?
Yep, I agree. So second is just absolutely disgusting, I think, tonight, except for Ketel Marte at the top. He gets a nice matchup here, and 5,500 is fine. Sosa, I love. Koss is in my stack, only in my full stack. Wouldn't play him unless I'm doing it that way. And then Nico Horner and Blaze Alexander. Over and out.
Thank you for that. It's a good way to do it. Did get a question about Blaze earlier, so it's good to hear that name. Let's go to third base. Over.
Okay. Matt Chapman. Sorry, I messed it up already. Can we rewind the tape? All right. Matt Chapman, 4,500. It's going to be extremely popular, but massive home run upside against Freeland. Flores, also third base eligible. So you're either going to play Devers or Flores with Chapman is probably the main build. But if you wanted, you could go Flores at third and play Devers and not play Matt Chapman. Manny Machado, definitely a strong play. You're going to need to upside it here. And I think Miguel Garcia, the guy's pretty good. Great numbers leading off. So 4,600, I think he'll probably get lost in the shuffle because there's going to be so much ownership over in cores. Blaze Alexander is just kind of cheap, batting fifth tonight, which is nice. And man, I don't like anything else really. Josh Young, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Over.
Cheese, third base, over. I'm done with the bit.
So this would be the first, not the first time to mention, but to mention again, like the FanDuel pricing is so soft tonight. Matt Chapman, 3,100, is kind of silly. Like the Giants are going to be over the moon there. Over the moon means they're going to be really excited. Their ownership's going to be really high. I don't know if they'll be over the moon. We have to wait and see how they do.
Their ownership will be, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think over the moon means what I think it means.
No, I don't think so either.
I just wanted to say it. I do like Machado a lot as well. And yeah, like Kirk said, like Miguel Garcia apparently is just good. He's also super cheap on FanDuel. I don't think we need to say that. Everyone on the slate is super cheap on FanDuel almost. He also fits at second over there. But mostly I'm either doing the obvious Giants or Machado. And then Moncada is the cheaper guy, or Blaze Alexander that I'm willing to play.
Let's go to short cheese.
So essentially, Bobby Witt and Willie Adames should get all of the ownership. Probably a slight lean to Adames, but like if you're not playing one of those two, you're good. You're good if you do play them too because they're good. But I like Zach Neto a lot. I do not think you have to be stacking the Angels to play Neto. I like Colson Montgomery a lot as well. Like you don't have to be stacking the White Sox to play him. Brooks Lee and Josh Smith are fine for the salaries, but as usual, like I don't love saving at shortstop as much as other positions.
Yeah. Kirkwood, your thoughts at short?
Roger that. Willie Adames is the top guy. Bobby Witt, Neto I like as well. Colson Montgomery, Cheese's guy. Kid is ridiculous right now. Homered yesterday. Batting cleanup now, 4K. Excellent play. You could go to Gunnar Henderson. And I'll mention Brooks Lee, but like you want one of those high upside guys. So you want Adames, you want Bobby Witt, you want Neto, you want Montgomery. I think or you want Gunnar Henderson, and you call it a day there.
Yeah.
Over.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to the outfield. Some guy who you might want to play, but you can't play now, is Sir Michael Trout. He's out. Trout is out.
Roger that.
Do we know who's in? Is by chance Taylor Ward back in by chance, or do we know what the swap is?
I don't know.
No, that would be useful. If it's Taylor Ward, that's interesting to me. If it's not, then it's not interesting to me.
Okay, we shall see. Kirkwood, what are you doing there in the old outfield?
All right, in the outfield. So we've got Elliot Ramos leads the way for the high, probably the, he's been pretty bad post All-Star break, but high upside guy for San Francisco and Coors 4,800. Buxton is probably the best play out of anyone. If you're not talking about salary, I would think on this slate. And this game is just so ripe to go off from both sides with their bullpens. So like that, Seiya Suzuki just has incredible numbers against left-handed pitching. Wentz doesn't give up that much of barrels, but Suzuki is still a guy. 4,200 feels like a really solid play. Matt Wallner, I like a lot for a home run tonight, 3,600. The Twins, you could also play Larnach. Jock Peterson is hitting again. He's been lately. He's only 3K still, so you can still time to jump on here. Wyatt Langford, really good, solid player, high upside, and I mean, there's so much to do. There's Rooker, there's Judge, there's Corbin Carroll tonight. There's so many, but those are my favorites.
Okay, Cheese Chris Taylor, according to good old Mean Dean Shabelson.
That's amazing.
Chris Taylor in for Trout.
Can't get rid of that guy.
It's never going to happen. Like Taylor Ward got hit in the head. Like the injury is listed as forehead, which is one of my favorite injury listings.
Wow, how did that
I thought he might be able to play. It's he has like a cut over his eye, basically.
Okay, you run into somebody, I assume.
Yeah. He ran into the wall. So anyhow, I'm not going to swap to Chris Taylor for you, but it's good to know. We're talking about the outfield.
We are.
So, Ramos is the very obvious play. $3,000 on FanDuel, forgetting to push the button. I like Buxton and Rooker probably the best. I do like Joe Adele a good bit. Matt Wallner. I didn't end up going down too much. Jock Peterson. I think they talked about this at the end of the last show. Like with all of Arizona's lefties, like I feel like this is 2 at bats and that's it. Which if he hits a home run, that's going to be fine. But I didn't really need to go super dirt cheap in the outfield in very many lineups. Other like random mid-tier people I like, Ramon Laureano. I mentioned Soderstrom at first, but I like him here. Jung-Hoo Lee maybe gets left out a little bit in the Giants mix. And I would try to get him into stacks. I don't have him on his own at all, though. And that's it. Like, there's not a lot that I love. I would say I kind of love Rooker and Buxton, and everything else is just,
Yeah. Let's do some home run calls. That's what the people want. I might have to pull Vinny P off of any home run list. I'm not sure if you've seen his new haircut, Cheese.
It's interesting.
He just, he's got cornrows. He just doesn't look like the kind of dude that can pull off that look.
Here's the thing.
Yep.
The reason he's doing it is because he had to do this. He lost in his fantasy football league.
Oh.
And so at the begining of the season, he has to wear cornrows. So there's more to the story here.
Okay, that is good to know. It wasn't a voluntary choice. That's what I was like, I can't trust his intelligence on the field if that was a voluntary choice. But all right, he was forced into it. I'll allow it. He's back in my lineup. Let's do some home run calls. Cheese, who do you got for us?
Let's do all mid-tier stuff. Let's do Joe Adele and Matt Wallner and Ramon Laureano.
Yeah. Kirkwood? Few home run calls?
Well, I'm going to have to go. And if I can't do Wallner, I'm going to have to say Trevor Larnach. And then I'll also say Suzuki.
Okay. Let's go back to the Mike Trout news because I don't know much about baseball, but I know Mike Trout is good. And just by context clues, I'm guessing this jabroni that they plugged in is not good. Are we suddenly more interested in Lorenzen? Are you like, oh, actually, now he's got a free strikeout when I was worried he was going to give up a bomb to this dude? Cheese?
Well, honestly, Trout is a free strikeout. Trout's a 30% strikeout guy.
Yeah.
Like, this doesn't actually change. I mean, it makes it a little better, but the Angels are the highest strikeout team in the league. They're still the highest strikeout team in the league. If you didn't like Lorenzen before, you shouldn't like him now.
Okay.
It was a great strikeout matchup before. It's still a great strikeout matchup.
Okay. Good note. Let's see. Anything I forgot to do? I know. Make sure you signed up for Fantasy Labs, your home for season-long fantasy football and best ball content, rankings, projections, articles, and more. Fantasy Labs has an app, lets you get real-time rankings, draft cheat sheets, and lineup advice on the go. Sign up with code RG15 for $15 off. NFL is no longer right around the corner, Cheese. It's knocking on the door. That's right.
I hear it. That surprised me.
I always have I mess up this expression, knocking on the door, and on the doorstep. I'll often say like, "Oh, it's knocking on your doorstep."
Is it?
No,
well,
that doesn't.
It might, but you probably wouldn't hear it.
You wouldn't even hear it if it's knocking on the doorstep. That wouldn't do a damn thing. Anyways, it is literally 2 days away until NFL. I've got my weather forecast up, my first week 1 NFL weather forecast. We might see a little bit of rain in that Thursday night football game. And we just have more content for RotoGrinders than you could possibly fathom. So make sure you're signing up for RotoGrinders Premium. Every single week, we're going to help you get some lineups, help you take down some wins. Is 40%, let's take some QQs. Is 40% Joey Wentz too much Joey Wentz? Cheese? It's an Eric Johnson
Obviously,
question.
everybody knows.
Yeah,
we don't need to ask those questions if it's Eric Johnson asking the question.
Yeah, we know. If you know who asked the question,
it's totally fine if you want to play some Joey Wentz. If you're playing 40%, you just keep it to yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. You got to check the Discord real quick. Kirkwood, DKGPP, it's a 3v3. Webb, Kelly, Rooker, or Rasmussen, Bangaliers, and Suzuki.
Rasmussen, Bangaliers, and Suzuki.
Okay. Who are the DK Cash must-haves? You got a few names for me? Either of you?
I mean, it'd probably be all Giants. I mean, yeah. I would say start with Ramos and Chapman, probably.
Yeah. Okay. That'll work. Let's see. Someone says, if it's stop asking Eric Johnson's questions. He is a clown. The issue, I know he's a clown. The issue is I just read the question first. I don't double check the name first. And then I can tell by the reaction it was a dumb question. And then I look and I'm like, oh, yep. It was an Eric Johnson question. Or at least an interesting question, I should say. No dumb questions. Cheese, Mel Dog, FanDuel, Kurtz and Blaze, or Soderstrom and Marte?
Soderstrom, Marte.
Okay. Cheese, your favorite 2 pitchers in a FanDuel tournament?
Imanaga for sure. I mean, it so much depends on salary. Like if you can get Wu, great, or even Webb. But assuming you can't, then for the second one, I think you do Lorenzen over Darvish on FanDuel if you're trying to go cheap.
Okay. Joseph says, Kirkwood, does a giant stack win the slate tonight?
No.
Okay. I want to make sure you're hitting the thumbs up, by the way, like button. We're not giving you anything away. I'm not begging. I'm just telling you it's free content. Hit the like button. That's all. Please do. We would appreciate it. Rank your favorite O's today in a DK stack, Kirkwood.
Favorite Gunnar Henderson. Basalio. And Jackson Holiday.
Okay. Cheese, unreleased lo-fi music. What is lo-fi music? Do you know, Cheese? Lo-fi?
I mean, I've heard the term. I think I don't know exactly though. I can see it in a couple different genres.
Yeah.
He's probably got a very specific genre to it.
Yeah. Let us know.
It's like you know it when you hear it, but I don't know how to say what it is.
Unreleased lo-fi music. Let us know what that name means and what it is. Anyways, the question was, Cheese, 4 lineups on FanDuel, 2 Imanaga, 1 Lorenzen, 1 Webb. How did that sound to you?
Perfect.
Okay, nice. Paul says, thoughts on Darvish, Cheese?
Yeah, I mean, he probably is the chalk on DK, and I think he's fine. But like, it's a very wide range of outcomes without a high ceiling. So only play him if you really need the salary.
Yeah. Kirkwood got a couple questions in the Discord here. Pick one of these 3 2v2. So it's a 2v2v2 for DK single entry. Lennon Sosa Outman, Peterson Geloff, or Adele and just a crazy punt at second with Mason McCoy.
Your first choice, the first option.
Kirkwood, Alex, making you work. 2,200 in the outfield. DK cash. So we need a dirt cheapie in the outfield. 2,200 or less.
I don't even know if there is anybody. Hold on. I mean, I wouldn't play any of these guys. How much would you say? What, 2,200?
Yes.
Play Lugo from the Angels and just pray for a home run.
Okay. Let's see. Cheese, DK raw points. Marte, Bangaliers, or Stanton. Thank you.
Marte.
Cheese, Kingmaker says Ramos or Carroll.
Ramos.
Just double check. Yeah, we still have 10 minutes, so we're still going to hang out, take some questions here, see if we got.
I got a question.
Yeah, please.
They scared me a little bit with Jock, and that came from Dean probably too, who said that too. So should I get Jock out of my lineup? Number one, and to do that, I end up having to go. I'll play Suzuki. I have to get off Walner and I play Larnack. You think I should do that?
I mean, the thing is, he does probably get 2 at bats against a low strikeout righty. So, and that like Walner get pinch hit for just as much as Jock.
Well, the Twins don't really have much these days.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't play Jock. I would probably swap it, but it's 2 at bats for Jock against Chris Matt is fairly priced.
All right.
Okay.
Don't know what to do.
Okay.
I don't either. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. Cheese, FanDuel, Witt or Marte?
Witt.
Over up.
I'm reading about what lo-fi music is. Sorry.
Oh. Roger that.
Low fidelity. It's down-tempo instrumental hip-hop. And then unreleased lo-fi says, you wouldn't like it, Roth. You seem like too much of a party guy. It's fair. It's fair. I'll give it a shot. He dropped his favorite band. So after the show, I will listen to his favorite band. and we'll see if I like it or not. Let's see. Cheese, one team to win it all. Who you got?
The team to win it all that probably loses it all is the Angels.
Okay. Kirkwood, one
The
team
last
to win it
place is a little more likely than the first place, but they're both
all?
in the range.
Okay. Kirkwood?
The White Sox.
I don't quite understand this. I mean, I guess I understand it, but it's quite the question. Landon says Neto or Kurtz, if you're betting one of them to hit over 1.5 home runs. HRR?
Hits.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Hits, runs, RBIs, maybe something.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay. That makes more. I was like, what kind of bet is, who are these dudes to just be betting 2 homers? Okay. So Neto or Kurtz, Kirkwood, who would you prefer over 1.5?
Kurtz.
Okay. Cheese, DK large field GPP, you like Fitzy for the Twins for a cheap homer?
I mean, it's possible. Like, he's one of the viable shots for it. I wouldn't say I like him, though. No.
Okay. I'm looking up this Powfu, the band, this lo-fi music. Oh, this has like 1 billion views. Okay, this is popular with someone. That much I know. That lo-fi stuff. Scrolling down. Butthole Jenkins says, why does ESPN still have pitchers' batting preferences, righty lefty? Does it matter anymore?
I don't know I'm not sure I understand what the question means.
Oh, maybe the stance if a pitcher is hitting. Maybe.
Pitchers don't hit.
I think that's what he's saying,
fine.
but it still says, throws righty, hits righty, but pitchers don't hit. So he's saying, why is that? Why is
Oh, if that's what it means, then I wouldn't know why they would.
Yeah, because of Shohei.
Yeah. Pitchers should hit, by the way. Pitchers should hit. Bring it back. What did they make that rule change 5 years ago?
Not that long ago, a team ran out of bench players and they had to pinch hit a pitcher.
Love it.
It was like maybe the Diamondbacks like 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah. That happened one time in a classic game. I watched the highlights of it, and it was in the 18th inning or something, and a random pitcher had to pinch hit, and he just hit a game-winning bomb, and it was incredible. That should be a thing that happens more often. Cheese, make the pitchers hit.
No, I think it was the right call. The game is way better this way. And there was nothing worse than pitchers getting hurt, run into first. It happened way more than it should have. Like,
that's true.
I disagree with you on this one.
Yeah. All right.
Well, what I always hated, like, I thought they should have credited them with they should get points for batting as well, and that should be baked into the pitcher.
Yeah.
So when
Shohei
you played Bartolo Colon, you always have that memory where you got the home run,
Right. Yeah, got you 8 Ks and a homer. For the amazing Mr. Cheese from Blink-182, Wu and Webb or Imanaga and Valdez/Freed. Large field DK tournament to go with my double dip of the Twins and White Sox.
I would Wu and Webb on that one.
Okay. Kirkwood, Darvish Rooker or Imanaga Lugo? It's a cash question on DK.
Darvish Rooker.
Okay. Cheese, if I'm only building one lineup, is there anything in the last 2 games you would prioritize? And do you prefer Rooker or Tatis as a one-off on FanDuel?
I mean, in the last 2 games, I like Manny Machado and Ketel Marte.
Okay.
I don't know if prioritize is not really the word for it, but
they're
like,
good. Yeah.
Don't put someone in your lineup just so that you have something to sweat in the last game. Like, go to sleep.
Yeah.
But I do like those 2 guys.
Okay. And then Rooker or Tatis is a one-off.
I like Rooker.
Okay. Kirkwood, FanDuel single entry, Buxton and Rooker or Carroll and Tatis?
Yeah, Buxton Rooker. I don't think
Scott,
there's any other combination what would be better than that.
Yeah. Scott wants to know your top 3 Giants, Kirkwood.
It's Devers, it's Chapman, and it's Adames.
Eric says Roth listens to punk rock. A little bit.
He
Mostly.
is.
What is it? What does Eric listen to?
Wait, hang on, Cheese. What did you say? What is punk rock?
No, I said you are punk rock. I don't know if you
am
listen
punk
to it.
rock.
You are.
Yeah,
Punk rock.
I am the definition. This face is the definition of punk rock. Eric, we want to know what you listen to. What kind of music does Eric listen to? Let's see. DK Cash question from Alex Kirkwood. Darvish Rooker or Imanaga Lugo? We may have gotten that one in the Discord. I don't know.
Darvish Rooker.
Kirkwood large field DK tournament. Chrismat or Severino?
Did you say me?
Yes.
I would play neither. I just don't see any upside in Severino coming back tonight. So I guess give me Christmas.
Yeah, okay. Cheese, how about this Matos guy from the Giants?
Yeah, he's a great play and not sneaky at all. But yeah, like he's one of the guys you can play on his own for a home run.
Yeah. Okay. And then Juice says, I hope y'all are doing well. Cheese, who's your favorite contrarian stack or mini stack in a DK deep field GPP? Thank you in advance. Flex emoji. Fire.
Angels, A's, Padres, mini.
Nice. Kirkwood, man, you've had all the tough questions. Best outfielder on DK, 4,700 or less.
Sorry, I should have that ready. Ramos is 4,800, so I can't say that. Soderstrom? Question mark?
Okay. Let's see. Brian says, how about the homer call? You missed them, man. Do a little rewind. We did give some homers right after we did position by position. DK single entry, Kirkwood, Severino, or Darvish?
Darvish. I just see no upside with Severino.
Yeah. Cleveland picker, Joe Adell or Jackson Holiday? Cheese, straight up.
Joe Adell.
Cheese, Chris says Kurtz or Buxton on FanDuel.
I really like them both. I'll go Buxton, but both.
Okay. Kirkwood, Kyle Tucker or Ian Happ or Randy Arozarena for a home run. Tucker, Happ, or Randy for a bomb.
Hap.
Okay. It is Willie Adames' birthday, apparently, so give him a little bump. Birthday bump, obviously. And he turns 30. He's officially getting grown man strength tonight. Scrolling down. Favorite outfielder on DK of any price, Cheese? Any price.
Brent Rooker.
Cheese, are the Rockies getting overlooked?
I mean, no one's going to play them if that's what you mean.
Okay. FanDuel, Langoliers or Rooker? Kirk?
Rooker.
DK single entry, Kirk, Darvish or Severino?
Darvish.
What's your favorite band, Roth? Of all time? Tom Petty?
Yes.
Bob Seger? Yeah.
It's incredible you just said Tom Petty. I mean, you were already my favorite person. That was amazing.
That was, I don't really have any current bands that I listen to. So, yeah. Cheese, your favorite two White Sox bats? Oh, by the way, we hit lock.
Sosa and Montgomery.
Okay. Very good. All right. Roth looks like Henry Rawlings. Great. Now I got to Google that. I have two things to do. I'm going to listen to this Powfu lo-fi music, and I'm going to Google whoever the hell Henry Rawlings is.
I'm going to do one of those two things.
Okay. Is he a rocker, Henry Rawlings?
Oh no, that's what. That's the one of the two things I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You look like a real skinny version of him, kind of like he's like big, kind of.
Yeah.
Spazzed.
I'm Diesel. I don't know. What
Yeah,
you're
no, you're in good shape. You
Yeah.
just haven't done suck down juice all your life, like
That's true. Yeah, I have not. That is accurate. Okay, hey, guess what? We've hit the lock. We're gonna clear on out of here. So let's bounce for Cheese and for Kirk. Oh, and he spelled it wrong. It's Henry Rollins, not whatever they said. Rawlings. Henry Rollins. Okay. All right. We're gonna clear on out of here for Cheese and for Kirkwood and our wonderful production crew. Always working hard behind the scenes, guys. We appreciate you. We love you, and we will catch you tomorrow. You have been